Hey there everyone, it's Thakard and welcome back to the Blueberry series, a series designed to help new players learn game mechanics, tactics, and strategies in Heroes and Generals. So recently we did a tier list over all the badges, and on that video I asked if anyone else had some thoughts or suggestions for what we should do next. One of you came up with an idea that I liked. Dan Alexandru Bukur, we're going to go with that, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, stated, I want to see a tier list with all LMGs in the game. And I thought, you know what? Maybe it's about time we start talking about weapons. So, we're going to do a tier list for LMGs. But not today. That's going to happen in a couple of episodes because first we're going to go over all these LMGs. And we're starting with the German faction, which means today we're talking about the MG13, the MG34, the MG42, and the FG42. Now, the wiki has recently been updated with all the stats you could possibly want on these weapons, but it's hard to read. So what I've done here is I'm putting everything all in one place. That way, all you have to do is come to this video, compare everything right across the screen, and make your decision about what is the weapon you want. Now, I'm going to be putting my 2 cents in after we go over each little section of comparisons, just to kind of point out little bits and pieces of where the weapons excel or fall short of what you probably hope they will be doing, So, let's get started and take a look at these LMGs for the German faction. First, we'll go over when you unlock them and their prices. For the MG13, you unlock it at Infantry Assault Level 7. It costs you 120,000 credits, or 1,450 gold. The captured version will cost you 845,000 credits, or 3,800 gold. The MG34 unlocks at LMG Assault Level 5, costs 200,000 credits, or 2,400 gold. The captured version costs 1,150,000 credits, or 4,800 gold. The MG42 unlocks at LMG Assault Level 12, costs 350,000 credits, or 4,200 gold, and its captured variant costs 1,391,000 credits, or 6,800 gold. The FG42 unlocks for paratroopers at parachute level 9, and it costs them 217,000 credits, or 2,650 gold. Everyone else will need to unlock it at FG42 level 9 for a captured cost of 845,000 credits, or 3,800 gold. Now, let us take a look at the statistics for these weapons. The MG13 does 35 damage at 51 meters, 28 damage at 368 meters, at a rate of fire of 550 rounds per minute. The magazine will hold 25 shots, and you can reload it in 3.6 seconds. Equipping the MG13 will require 6 equipment points, and it will increase your maintenance load by 30 seconds, with a cost per shot of about 0.24 credits. The MG34 does 34 damage at 51 meters, 26 damage at 500 meters, it has a rate of fire of 700 RPM, and it has a magazine size of 50. The reload time is 5.7 seconds, and equipping it will cost you 7 points. It will increase your maintenance load by 35 seconds, and the cost per shot is also 0.24 credits. As for the MG42, it has a damage of 29 at 45 meters, a damage of 25 at 448 meters, a rate of fire of 1,000 rounds per minute, magazine size of 100, and a reload time of 7 seconds. Equipping it will cost you 7 equipment points, it will increase your maintenance load by 45 seconds, and per shot it will cost you 0.22 credits. The FG42 will do 37 damage at 51 meters, 28 damage at 368 meters, with a rate of fire of 540 RPM. A magazine size of 720 will take you 3.3 seconds to reload. It takes 6 equipment points to equip and will increase your maintenance load by 30 seconds. Its cost per shot is the lowest at 0.19 credits. The MG13 and the FG42 are pretty near to identical here. The only differences being that the MG13 has 5 more rounds at the cost of 0.3 extra seconds for reload time. The FG42 is also the most economical per shot. Now on to the big boys. The MG34 actually outdamages the MG42 and has a higher range. But the MG42 has a higher rate of fire at 1000 over 700, and it has 50 extra shots per magazine. Although this does increase its reload time by 1.3 seconds. The last thing for the MG42 is that it does not have a semi-automatic mode. This means that it only got one gear, and that's full auto. While the other 3 you can put into single shot mode and take little accurate shots at people at further distances. This screen shows the time to kill in milliseconds for all the weapons. This is broken down into near and far ranges and against unarmored, bronze heavyset, silver heavyset, and gold heavyset. As you can see, the MG42 is going to kill stuff off the quickest, followed by the MG34, and then the MG13 and the FG42 are pretty much once again in a dead heat. Our remaining statistics are all about accuracy, so all of these values are in degrees. First off, we're going to talk about the Conefire and the camera recoil. For the MG13, the Conefire is 0.41 degrees. It has an upward camera recoil of 1.25 degrees, a rightward camera recoil of 0.3 degrees, and a variance of that recoil of up to 0.1 degrees. For the MG34, the Conefire is 0.27 degrees, with an upward recoil of 1.15 degrees, a rightward recoil of 0.35 degrees, and a recoil variance of 0.1 degrees. The MG42 has a Conefire of 0.25 degrees, an upward recoil of 2.07 degrees, a rightward recoil of 0.45 degrees, and a variance of 0.4 degrees. The FG42 has a Conefire of 0.41 degrees, an upward recoil of 1.25 degrees, a rightward recoil of 0.3 degrees, and a variance of 0.11 degrees. The MG13 and the FG42 here are pretty much identical. The MG34 and MG42 are very accurate with their very first shot. In fact, they're more accurate than any assault rifle except for the AVS. This is especially important with the MG34, which you can use in single fire mode. The MG13, MG34, and FG42 are very controllable, both with their upward and rightward recoil. Their upward recoil is actually less than every single assault rifle in the game. The MG42, on the other hand, kicks like a mule. The upward recoil is 80% higher than the MG34. The rightward recoil, 29% higher. And the variance is 300% higher than any of the machine guns we're talking about today. On this screen, we are going to be talking about sway. The MG13 has a sway standing of 1.83, crouched at 1.02, prone at 0.66, has a additional sway penalty of 4.5 for movement, and a 7.0 penalty for fatigue. The MG34 standing is 2.5, 1.05 for the crouched, and 0.6 for the prone. The movement sway is 5.0, and the sway from fatigue is 8.0. The MG42 standing has a 4.0 sway, a 1.7 when crouched, and a 0.4 when prone. When you move, you get a sway of 5.5, and when fatigued, it is 8.0. The FG42 has a standing sway of 1.76, a crouch sway of 1.36, a prone sway of 0.66, movement sway is 4.8, and the fatigue sway is 7.0. While standing, you will have the least amount of sway with the MG13 and the FG42, and the most with the MG42. Crouching with the FG42 will decrease your sway by about 23%, while going prone will decrease the sway by about 63%. For the MG13, your sway will be decreased by 44% when crouched and 64% while prone. Crouching with the MG34 will decrease your sway by 58% and going prone by 74%. The big winner here is the MG42. Being crouched with it decreases your sway by 58%, just like the MG34, but going prone decreases your sway by a whopping 90%. So, standing with the MG42, bad idea. Crouched, better idea. Prone, really good idea. Our last screen here is all about precision. The aiming modifier for the MG13 is 0.31. The cone expansion per shot is 0.3. The cone expansion while turning is 0.17. And the cone contraction per second is 1.0. The MG34 has an aiming modifier of 0.35, an expansion per shot of 0.4, turning expansion of 0.24, and a contraction per second of 0.9. The MG42 has an aiming modifier of 0.425, a cone expansion per shot of 0.4, an expansion while turning of 0.25, and the contraction per second is 0.9. Lastly, the FG42 has an aiming modifier of 0.3, a cone expansion per shot of 0.3, a cone expansion while turning of 0.16, and the contraction per second is 1.0. ADSing, or aiming down sights, decreases the amount of sway that you have. This is done by the aiming modifier. This is a multiplicative operation, which means the smaller the number on this screen, the less sway you will have while aiming. For example, if we take the standing sway of the MG34 from last screen, which was 2.5 degrees, and we multiply it by the aiming modifier of 0.35, we get a result of 0.875 degrees. While for the MG42, last screen it had a standing sway of 4 degrees. When we multiply it by its aiming modifier of 0.425, that gives us a sway value of 1.7 degrees. And there you have the LMGs for the German faction. So, I know the question that's already going through a lot of your minds is, Thakard, which one do you like the best? Well, I've played a lot with these weapons in the last couple of weeks, doing a lot of testing, do a lot of just playing in matches, on stream, off stream, a lot of footage taking, and I've come to the realization that what I liked before the most, I still like the best right now, and that's the MG34. The MG34 has good damage, it has good range, it has good recoil control, it has a single shot selection, and it has 50 rounds in that magazine. You can take an MG34 into basically any situation, and you can win it. After that, I'm probably saying it's the MG13, followed closely by the FG42. As you saw in all these stats, they're pretty much close to identical. The reason I choose the MG13 over the FG42 is I like the sights on the MG13 better. Personal preference. And literally, that's it. 5 more bullets also helps, but And rounding up the bottom of my personal list is the MG42. Now, if you are a person that can control that recoil from that mad machine, have at it. Probably the best gun in the game. But I can't. That recoil, too much for me. Therefore, it sits in that 4th slot. I can use it, but I'm not going to be nearly as effective with the MG42 as I would the other 3 MGs. So it is not my go-to LMG. That is the MG34. Please, guys, tell me what you think. What is your favorite of the German LMGs? And how would you list the 4 LMGs that we just went over today? And next time, it's going to be the SU LMGs. So we're talking MT, DT, and DP. But until that video comes up, you guys go out and have a wonderful time in game. If you enjoyed or disliked this video, I do hope you comment on it and give it a thumbs up or down. If you want to see new videos, please hit the subscribe button, and to be notified of new content when it comes out, hit the notification bell. But for now, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day, and don't forget to bring it no matter what you do. And I will see you guys in the next video.